a lot of the kids on these campuses are, whether they're affiliated with the Democratic Party or not, the ideology and beliefs they have are very progressive. And a lot of times they're misinformed because, as we've come to see in recent months, most of us have known this for years, but a lot more people are aware of the fact that the media has lied to the public extensively. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Crane. Thank you guys for tuning into the episode. Please make sure to subscribe, share these episodes with people that want to elevate their lives, people that you feel like could be inspired by my message and my episodes that I share. I want to change the world, you guys, and I will. But I'm just one man. I need you to help me. Together, we are stronger than we are alone. Iron sharpens iron. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, share with a friend or family member, and let's get into it. There's so much to talk about right now in the world. Gosh, there's so much to talk about. You know, I stay focused on what I need to do each and every day, my family, my business, my personal development. I truly have tunnel vision, but I can't help but be, attracted to, drawn to, enticed to observe and learn more about the political sphere, especially the stuff going on just throughout the world. But anyway, I want to talk about two individuals that I see doing amazing work for the American people, amazing work for the younger generations of people as well. And look them up. Check them out on Google or YouTube. Charlie Kirk and Vivek Ramiswamy. Charlie Kirk, I believe he's the founder of an organization called Turning Point USA. What he does is he goes on to college campuses throughout the country and he will debate college kids. Now, Charlie Kirk is a Republican, and a lot of the kids on these campuses are, whether they're affiliated with the Democratic Party or not, the ideology and beliefs they have are very progressive. And a lot of times they're misinformed because, as we've come to see in recent months, most of us have known this for years, but a lot more people are aware of the fact that the media has lied to the public extensively over the last decade, especially when Trump came into the picture in 2016. The media has lied significantly. The mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, they lie. They lie and they're corrupt. And they're doing the dirty work for the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party will tell you one thing on camera, like in a speech, and then they'll go do other stuff behind your back. So as a citizen, like I would watch and observe this stuff, and I go, man, this is not, they're not fighting for the people. These aren't the representatives that I want to elect into office. Like they're using our tax dollars. They're making rules and regulations and putting forth policies that are supposed to represent us, but it's not representative of what the American people want. And so finally, this stuff is being talked about on a broader scale. You got Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, who else? All these different podcasters are finally talking about it and acknowledging it. A lot of really successful entrepreneurs, Grant Cardone, if you know who that is, Brad Lee, like a lot of people on social media are finally talking about this too, because people are sick and tired of the lies, the manipulation, the corruption. The place that we need to focus on the most, other than the mainstream media, is college campuses. And that's what Charlie Kirk has been doing. He's been going around the country and he'll just post up at a college campus with a little tent, a chair, and a table, and he'll invite college kids to come up and ask him questions, and a lot of them want to debate. And if you watch these clips on YouTube, it just shows how brainwashed these kids are. I mean, they'll come forth with all these different points and all these different agendas and all these different things that they talk about in class with their professors and the other students. And Charlie Kirk can factually debunk them and debate them. And he's not mean. He's not insulting. He just is a very intelligent guy that knows American history, that knows politics, and he will educate these kids. And I think this is some of the best work being done in America right now. I don't know how many kids go to college. I don't know, but there's a lot of major universities, and kids strive to go to college because they think this is going to give them an education, a great perspective on the world, and set them up for success in life. But in fact, it's not really true. A lot of kids go to college, they major in a certain subject, they get out of college in debt, and they never get a job in that specific industry. In fact, the bachelor's or majors that they get, the degree, doesn't help them. And they're in jobs that they could have got without a college degree. Now they have all this debt, And that experience, I mean, maybe they got life experience. Maybe they built relationships. I hope so. I hope that time was valuable, but it's not as valuable as you would think or it was in times past. And now what you have happening is all these young people going to college are being brainwashed and manipulated by this woke ideology, like this craziness, this crazy agenda and this crazy rhetoric that's brainwashing them. And then these are the young people that are supposed to lead our country in the next 20 or 30 years. It's really scary to think about. So if you haven't gone on YouTube and checked out predominantly Charlie Kirk, but Vivek Ramaswamy, who's also going to be involved in the Trump administration now, they both go on to college campuses and debate kids and educate them. Nobody else is doing this. The professors, the media, like a lot of these kids' parents, they've all been brainwashed. And it's really scary to see. I mean, from an outside perspective, if you sit there and you watch the stuff that they bring up and talk about, it's factually incorrect and it's very easy to prove false. And not just that, but most of them are so tunnel vision and so emotional and they're like fighting this invisible force. Like the craziest thing is you'll hear people talk about the Matrix or the deep state. And these young people, they don't realize they're fighting for the Matrix. They're trying to defend the Matrix. In fact, the Matrix is what we all got to work to fight against. It's the censorship in the media. It's the lies and the corruption. It's big pharma. It's these food companies. It's these regulatory entities that have been bought out over time. It's corrupt politicians that are putting unhealthy food in the grocery stores that your kids are eating. It's the politicians that force Mark Zuckerberg to censor information on Facebook so that you couldn't see or hear the truth. Like, it's so skewed, right? And it's so clear and obvious for a free thinker to see that it's the Democratic Party who's the deep state, who's, the Matrix, who's corrupt, who's trying to manipulate the masses. And a lot of people are finally starting to wake up to this truth. That's why Donald Trump just won in overwhelming numbers. Thank God people are starting to wake up. Thank God that we have podcasters like Joe Rogan, Patrick Bet-David, Theo Vaughn. There's so many good podcasts out there that are starting to expose the truth. So I'd highly recommend you go check out Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, YouTube it, and watch some of these debates that he has with these kids, and it'll just show you how misled they are. These are kids that are supposed to go to college to be enlightened, to be looked after, to be set up for success in life. And in fact, the opposite is taking place there. And I mean, these are millions and millions of young people that are supposed to be the future of America. And so Charlie Kirk, it's some of the best work I see being done out there, like real impact. A lot of people will get up behind a podium and say what needs to be done. He's actually out there doing it. Like, what's the term? Boots on the ground, like taking action, grassroots movement. So shout out to Charlie Kirk, Vivek Ramaswamy. Look at you guys, the message here, it's up to us, each and every one of us, to do our research, to get the truth, and then to share the truth. That's why I've been so vocal about this on my podcast and social media, because I want to share the truth with people. I want people to know what's really taking place, not what they heard from a neighbor or a school teacher, not what they saw on CNN, the actual truth that you haven't been told. And what it takes is a free thinker, an open mind, somebody who's psychologically flexible, someone who has common fucking sense, and then you have to actually do research and read and listen to different podcasts from different type of people with different perspectives. You can't just take the first thing that you hear or see and take that to be factual. You have to get it from different resources, even looking at opposing views and opinions. And if the math don't add up, if the dots don't connect, then you should probably do more research. And that's what happened for me, man. I started getting suspicious of all this stuff I saw. And look, all you have to do is look back to COVID and how much we were lied and manipulated too. I mean, all the stuff about COVID now is coming out to be completely false and made up, whether it was by Fauci or the government. The stuff that they said was absolutely not true. The virus did not come from a lab in fucking China. It came from a bat in a cave. Dude, they lied. It came from a lab in China. It's being confirmed now. Like Dr. Fauci said, stay 6 feet apart. You know, you can't get around people. You can't hug people. You had all these fucking people in parks sitting 6 feet away from each other. He now just came out recently and said that was just his belief, but there was no science or fact to back that up. Dude, they were lying to you then, they were lying to you now. Like, you got to wake up and see this. How detrimental was that time for so many Americans? Domestic violence, relapse, all these incidents were through the roof. You were locked down. You couldn't even leave your house. You couldn't even go see your kids on Thanksgiving, right? If you went to work and you wouldn't get a shot, they fired you. You couldn't go to school. Like all this crazy stuff. You got to look at the bigger picture here and ask yourself, who am I fighting for, man? And what do I believe in? And take a fucking stance. It's time that everybody gets involved and take a stance and fight for what's right. Because if you're not willing to take a stance and pick a side, dude, then you're part of the problem and you're just a fucking sheep. And we don't need sheep. We need free thinkers that are going to be real leaders in this country. So that's my message to you guys today. Be a free thinker. Start watching people like Charlie Kirk, Vivek Ramaswamy, RFK, Tucker Carlson, Callie Means, all these amazing individuals with good hearts who want to do good for America. Those are the people I support, and you should too.